J Squad.
We gotta find. Now what do we do? That's the first clue. Now what do we do? That's the first clue. We gotta find.
Yo, what is going on, everybody? How you doing tonight? Thank you, Kamoji, as always, for making sure I am unmuted and ready to go on stream. Man, what a weekend it has been, right? We had probably one of the greatest things I've ever seen Twitter do, and that is the location process. And I actually like the way they do it, where it tells you what app store they downloaded X from. So even if they use a VPN, it still comes out as like, hey, this is where you download it from, and you're using a VPN. Hell yeah, Red Stain. A lot of people got exposed. I've heard some have actually like left the internet from it. I think that guy pretending to be in Japan who is like constantly baiting and talking about it got called out. It's a beautiful thing. It's definitely a beautiful thing happening today. Uh, when the account says South Asia, right? What's even funnier is Grums tried to jump in on the train, but he jumped in on Synth Potato. And from my understanding, Synth Potato has always been honest about where he's from. And it's not like he's one of these MAGA accounts pretending to be someone else. He's just talks about the games he loves, right? Uh, and it just made him look like made Grums look like an absolute ass again. Smash doing the same thing, calling out people about video games who don't live in the United States. So yeah, I only know Synth Potato being Iraqi because someone called him Israeli, but he's not Iraqi. He's from Turkey, right? But either way, it's been a beautiful thing to see. If you haven't gone ahead and done it, go ahead and like the stream so we can get that in there. Oh, Raki living in Turkey. Cool, 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 cool. I had a friend uh, who was Iraqi, which was a little odd during the time period when it was, because me and my buddy were both Army at the time, you know, in one point preparing to go over there. But he was a strange character, liked to cause a lot of problems, but we were always friends at the end. Um, Groiper White Savior 66. You're from more non-white than I expected. It was beautiful. It was absolutely beautiful. Another thing I've finally done, I've made Kimoji a moderator, so stay on his good side. Otherwise, he may be taking care of it. That's right, I made him a mod. What if they fall asleep on the job? You're thinking of Grizzle. Kimoji doesn't fall asleep on the job. He's always there to remind me when I'm muted every stream. And Grizzle is also my mod, so I guess I do have one that sleeps on the job. How's it going, David Sector? So starting out today, I was going to do something else. I had something else on the docket, but then I saw this article from Alyssa Mercante about the dev that got fired for her milk toast Charlie Kirk joke, and I figured I'd read it and see, you know, what agreements I have, what disagreements I have. I'm sure I have some. Skimming through it, I think there were already some that I saw. So I figured we'd go through this, and then we're gonna talk about the problem with ARC raiders, because there's been a lot of talk back and forth about it. You got the PvEers who hate the PvPers. There's this whole thing, and I want to give my take on the entire thing. And then while I'm doing that, I'm gonna be playing to try and finish out my expedition so that I can wipe next month. So, let's see if we can get a little closer here. Boop. Make it big for the old man who can't read. So, if anyone doesn't know, there was a huge campaign that happened right around the Charlie Kirk death, especially in the gaming industry too. Well, it was everywhere, but in the gaming industry too, where people were making fun of, or people were, in some cases it was very, very distasteful stuff about Charlie Kirk's death and things like that. My personal opinion is I'm a freedom of speech guy. Whether you agree with it or not, they have a right to say it, right? PvPers and PvEers has been a struggle since RuneScape Wilderness days. This is true. This is true. But I think what's weird about this is it's, and we'll get into it, it's Arc Raiders has always pushed itself as a PvPvE. Well, not always, there's way back in the day, but it's brought more normies into the extraction shooter, but I don't think they like it as much as they think they did, because part of the struggle and part of the anticipation and tension in the game is losing an entire load. You could get to the very end and get wiped by a rat camping the extraction point. So, but we'll get to my views on that. So, 2 months after firing over Charlie Kirk's Ghost of Yotei, Charlie Kirk comments, Ghost of Yotei dev blames harassment campaign, not bad jokes. I really don't want this to happen to anyone else, because I feel like the state of everything is absolutely happened to other people. Well, yeah, there were a lot of people that lost their jobs or were targeted for these different things. Let's see here. Getting a little drink there. Ooh, that went down my... Ooh, excuse me, that went down my chest wrong. Bear with me. Oh, goodness. Was fired for a joke on social media about it. Drew Harris wasn't the only person punished by the seething online masses of the American alt-right. I get it. She's a far lefty. And I'm sure you could call the more vicious people alt-right, but a lot of them were probably just trolls looking for problems. The person that did the Charlie Cook Church joke should be fired to have the right to say it, but it doesn't protect you from making the company look bad. Absolutely. And that's been my take on it to begin with, is while there's a very fine line, because I don't think the normal person should be held accountable for what they say online if they're freedom of association, if they have no connection to their business, right? If your social media doesn't connect you to where you work, and everything else doesn't connect you to where you work, then you shouldn't be punished for the things you say online. In this dev's case, they very much had everything connected to where they worked, so by that nature, they are a representative of their company, right? If I went out in my company shirt and I started fighting in a bar, yeah, I should get fired for that. But if I have done something, say I was being a jerk to a guy in a bar, and we didn't get into a fight, nothing illegal happened, or we had a tussle and then we both went our separate ways, Brawl Gaming Dad. And we went our separate ways. There's no arrest. There's no anything else. But that guy calls my work and talks about it. Yeah, that's none of my company's business. I didn't represent them in any way. They would have had to go looking for my job. And that's kind of the way I sit with it. A Reuters special report suggests more than 600 people were fired, suspended, investigated, or otherwise actioned against. But Harrison's story, which she is commenting on here, for the first time, dovetails with year-long harassment campaign her company had faced and remained publicly silent on until the day she was let go. An online mob had been railing against Ghost of Yotei and Sucker Punch since the sequel of The Ghosts of Tsushima was announced last September. They further riled up by Kirk's death and the firestorm of censorship and cancellation around it. So, from the moment that Ghost of Yotei was announced, there has been, the anti-wokers have been going after it, right? It's always hard to call something a harassment campaign, because by the legal definition, it has to be very, very structured, right? I think it's common knowledge, even before cancel culture and all this. Oh yeah, absolutely. So there's that, and then the firestorm. They definitely 100% smashing his boys, use the Charlie Kirk incident to go after uh, Ghosts of Yotei and anybody involved around it, right? Even though Erica, is that her name? Uh, the lead actor was never said anything that I'm aware of about Charlie Kirk, or at least nothing they could have used. They went back to 2020 to find her Antifa comment and then say that she was, Antifa and was probably on the side of those people. So yeah, absolutely. From my conversation with Harris, it appears that Sucker Punch's parent company, Sony Interactive, acted swiftly with little investigation into the situation around Harris's comments, and as many companies did during those few weeks in September, and doing so emboldened gamers' worst behaved actors yet again, and set a worrying precedent for the industry to try to often coattail to reactionary sects within. So yeah, I agree that that's what they did, probably with little investigation. But you're talking about something corporations have been doing forever. They don't want to be involved in any of that stuff, political or culture war or anything like that, right? That's why they call people like Grums a pick me. And it's why they don't say anything publicly about the anti-woker. It's better not to, because if you say something, they come at you. If you don't say something, they come at you. It's a two-way street. Generally, if you're not responding to them, it slows down until they find something that you say that they can get a hold of. Um, so I mean, yeah, I agree. Sony's a huge company that doesn't give a shit about its employees, but what would they have done to uh avoid this? Yeah, it's the meta is to simply not engage. Absolutely. Even blocking them makes them spurg out. Yeah, it does. Absolutely. You can block them and they'll act tough and all of this other shit, but they'll block you in a heartbeat and act like that's somehow right when they do it. I mean, it emboldened the behaviors of the worst actors. They were already emboldened, right? They had the nugget that they need. Harrison gave them the words that they wanted, right? And, no matter how free speech it is, yes, it was connected to her business account. She was known as a dev in Sucker Punch. And they latched onto that and did it. If you don't want to do that, don't put your business all over your social media accounts. Muffins and death threats. On September 10th, hours after Kirk was shot, Harrison made an off-color joke on social media. I hope the shooter's name is Mario so that Luigi knows his bro got his back. Very milk toast. It's not even like the worst of the stuff that was said. We as a society allowed cancel culture to run rampant and overcorrect too much. Did it expose YouTubers being inappropriate with minors? Yes, but still was used maliciously too. Yeah, well, there were people who during there's the whole period of time on YouTube where you would just call your enemy a pedophile because the internet would just flat out believe it and go after you, right? And there were clearly pedos in the group. Uh, Referring to the alleged murderer Luigi Mangiago, that guy, and a United Healthcare executive back in December 2024. A screenshot of her blue sky post immediately began circulating on Twitter after right-wing commentators and influencers urged people to track down those who had mocked and criticized people. Now, this did happen. After the first couple of comments, they were pretty much looking for everybody. I don't know if anyone directly said, uh, and I would say anti-wokes, but right-wing is probably true too. because that's when the website started, right? Oh no, so yeah, they did. The website absolutely did. For the next 12 hours, Harrison's cell phone was bombed with threatening calls, texts from unknown numbers. Dozens of replies to her post urged Harrison to kill herself and demand a boycott of Sucker Punch's Ghost of Yotei, which failed, uh, which is less than a month away from launch. Say goodbye to your career, reads the only post from one anonymous account. Others called her a worm, or much worse, for what they viewed as a celebration of Kirk's death. I hope the same happens to you, said another anonymous user. Yeah, so I have mixed feelings about these. Uh, the, what happened to Kirk was a very uh, crazy thing. I don't know what the best word is for it. Very crazy thing, very visceral thing that happened, right? A man killed in front of everybody at this place. And the other side, the politicians and the things like that on the right jumped on it immediately and started using it. So yeah, you're gonna if you make a comment like that, you're gonna get these kind of people. Was it overblown? I think because it was Charlie Kirk, yes. But this is just if you're going to be on the internet, you're going to be a public figure, uh, or at least semi-public figure, making comments. This is what's going to happen. You have to shore up your personal information as much as you can. And I mean, in this situation, I'd just turn my phone off. What are you going to do? Despite this, Harris was hopeful that Sucker Punch was well aware of the tactics of Gamergate, especially since they resurfaced in previous years. They're not the same. It's not a real Gamergate. Not that Gamergate had entirely good people in it with good intentions. The allegations, it was horrific. Yeah, horrific. That's a very good word. Uh, so if you're gonna make a joke about that, you're going to have to deal with the consequences of those who will use that horrific act against you, whether they are actually angry at what happened or not. Despite this, Harrison was hopeful they resurfaced the previous year. The allegations that consultancy firms were injecting diversity, equity, and inclusion principles into video games extended to Sucker Punch when Yotei was announced, and the queer actor Erika Ishii was revealed to be playing as the protagonist. I just thought that I'm their entertainment for the day, Harris told me from the harassing people. I assumed it was going to go how it always has. Nobody cares about what they say because they literally only harass for the fun of it. This is uh, here, I'll finish. There's no moral code. They're trying to hold up. There's no cause they're rallying for. They're just trying to make people suffer. This is not a correct statement. This is just a lefty wokey statement towards it. The while I don't think the anti woke know what they're looking for, what their actual thing looks for, they're at least the vast majority of them, outside of the trolls and outside of some of the ones that are clearly grifting, they have some perceived idea of how gaming was when they were a kid, and they want to get back to that, but they just don't realize that their perception of that is not what it's like. uh, the guy got killed in front of college kids, some probably still in their 18 or 19. Yeah, it's a horrific incident. um, just in any situation that'd be that way, whether you like the guy or not. Who's this? Oh, this is Harrison. Despite the night of the harassment, Harrison was determined to continue working as usual at Sucker Punch. The studio often ordered too many bananas for the communal kitchen at its office in Bellevue, Washington. Harris would take the mushy brown spotted ones home and make them into a sweet treat to share the results. The morning after Kirk was killed, Harrison sent a message to the company wide office chat. I made the worst people on the internet mad. As an apology, there are banana muffins in the kitchen. Okay, that's a start. Colleges reached out immediately. Colleagues reached out immediately. Some told Harris they were also being harassed, while others were unsure what she had done. Many expressed concerns for her safety. Okay. An office manager, Harrison said, explained that the company's phones were being bombarded with anonymous calls. Yep. And so many that other Sucker Punch employees who granted the anonymity for fear of retribution told me they were instructed to unplug their desk phones. Jesus. And this is the thing that happens. Like they, unironically, that statement can be used against both sides. Which one was that? The harassment one? um I mean, this is the thing we talk about. Like, the anti-woke know what happens, right? It's not a we want you to change games, this is how to change it. They've cultivated an audience that will go to any length, right? And like I said, I'm a clear, you're not fully responsible for your audience, but that has a line. Like, if you are encouraging this kind of behavior, or you're not letting it be known that this is not something you approve of. You can't stop everybody, but you're going to build a group of people who will basically just hinder companies for no reason. Due to the social media post by one of the team members, my corner of the studio and Sony organization are having to manage a developing situation. The message read, "We may have to pause the trailer release. There will be some significant amount of work created now to ensure we keep the spotlight on the fantastic game we've all created. Please be mindful of how you represent yourself online." And this is why she probably shouldn't have said it. Because when you represent your company online, like saying you are a dev for a company, and I understand wanting to say that, right? I work for Sucker Punch, who made Ghost of Tsushima. You like to have that badge of honor. But the internet hasn't changed on this, right? This isn't a new thing that just sparked itself up recently. This is something that's been happening online. You have to be careful when you are representing a business. Hours later, Harrison was invited to a video call with someone she had never met, a member of Sony's Human Resources Department, and that's where it starts. Within 10 minutes, she no longer had a job. Fire them. Ah, excuse me. Um, at the time, Sony confirmed to Kotaku that Harris was no longer employed, but otherwise didn't comment. A little more, why would they? A little more than a week later, Sucker Punch Studio head Brian Fleming told GameFile, "I think we aligned as a studio that's celebrating or making light of someone's murder is a deal breaker for us, and we condemn that kind of in no uncertain terms." He declined to elaborate further. Yeah, it's a pre-prepared statement. They don't want to support someone who made a unhinged joke, right? The campaign for Harris's firing was led by popular streamer Zach Hoyt, also known as Asmongold, and Mark Kern, a former video game executive who posts under the names Grums. On the day of Kirk's death, Grums instructed his followers to help Asmongold amass a list for that. Well, Asmongold said it first, and then Grums encouraged it, mocking and cheering Charlie Kirk's assassination. "Fire them all," he wrote, "every dev too, who celebrated this. We no longer have tolerance for death cults." After Harrison was fired, Asmongold, who has more than 3 million followers on Twitch and 4 million on YouTube, discussed the developments on the situation. "They got fired for their job," he said. "Too bad, huh? Wow, what a shame for you." He added, "Eventually you'll get a new job, and when you do, I must make another video and contact that employer too. Now, why would I do that? For fun. I enjoy it. I like it. It's a nice pastime. This was a unhinged comment by this. This is bullshit on Asmongold's thing. This makes him a little SJW cuck who couldn't, who doesn't really care about any of this. He just follows his audience and what they say. Not going to lie, if I was a worker in Sucker Punch, I would be pissed and go into a rant why she said that, knowing how they would act online. Yeah, I agree. Like her comment led to the harassment of the company, to the company getting blown up, opening himself up to a lawsuit with that one. Yeah, very much so. He's basically saying he's going to stalk and harass her to make sure she never works again. By the way, million sub, million follow YouTuber, one of the probably richest YouTubers out there. The studios don't want to address toxicity against their employees because they see it as confronting the dark sides of their community, which they believe is the core demographic. What? They got. Who said that? But Harrison's firing didn't happen in a vacuum. As mentioned, both Kern and Hoyt, along with a slew of other content creators and right-leaning voices on Twitter and YouTube, had already had Ghost of Yotei and its creators in their sights for a year prior to the Kirk post. In other words, news water is wet. Right? Some of the online structure subculture's rowdiness voices complain about Erika Ishii, uh, the queer actor who portrays the game's Avenging Samurai, was not pretty enough. Others suggested that Sucker Punch had hired too many women to work on the game. Harrison pointed out that a picture circulated with right-wing reactionaries to support the latter argument, a side-by-side of all men sitting at a table versus all women, with Ghost of Tsushima embroilized on the men over the men, and Ghost of Yotei over the women, and was shockingly inaccurate. They always are, right? It's literally a picture of Sucker Punch soccer team and our Women's Day photo from the same year. Sucker Punch never made any public statements about the harassment and of Ishii or the allegations against its dev team. And as far as Harrison and the anonymous Sucker Punch employees know, no statements were made internally either. Sony did not reply to multiple requests for comment. Yeah, I mean, what are they gonna say that's gonna please anybody? Like, it's not gonna please anybody in any way. The studio has a lot of vulnerable people. There are a lot of LGBTQ people. There are a lot of people who work on work visas. The employee told me over the call there are a lot of people who would be targets if their name was put in their words. Leaders at the game studios, who are often in much less vulnerable positions than their employees, also choose to remain quiet for a much different reason. Studios don't want to address toxicity against their employees because they see it as confronting the dark side of their community, which they believe is a core demographic, said Rachel Cowart, a research psychologist visiting researcher at the University of Cambridge. Where does she get that from? They know that if they say anything, it'll just make it worse. It's like, hey, go tell that beehive over there or that wasp's nest that you want the, like, it's, I'm sorry, this is a brain dead take from this fucking psychologist. It's not about it being their core demographic, right? It's about not feeding into the very same culture war that they're going against. It's, they don't want to take a side on anything. Yes, you could say that because they're a company. They're not making political statements. They're not trying to do anything else. They're trying to make the game. The wrong kind of action. And Harris has said she asked for clarification about her firing during the brief phone call. And Sony HR said her Blue Sky post was celebrating and inciting violence. Um, sure, I guess. When she asked what part of the post was celebrating and inciting violence, she said the employee replied with the comments. Okay. Harrison acknowledges that her post about Kirk's death could be considered a violation of Sony's media policy. Tenets include think before you post, consider the impact of your words, and be civil. Yes, sure. Full disclosure, the joke was not in the best taste. Harrison, who had never been formally reprimanded during her tenure, said, but at no point did anyone ask me to delete it. At no point did anyone ask me to apologize. And for the record, I would have. I would have worked with PR to write an apology. I feel like nobody investigated the harassment me and my coworkers were receiving. So what do you want? What do you want them to investigate? These accounts that 90% of them are troll accounts. I'm sure there's their own investigation that the company is doing for anything that might be considered illegal, but it's really hard pressed to do anything about that. And just because you've never been fired before from a company, or just because you've never been in trouble for that company doesn't mean you can't do something that could cause you to be fired instantly. And this is kind of one of those situations. Like this isn't you saying mean words and someone bringing it in from the office and saying, hey, they said this thing online, I don't think it follows company rules, and they have the company name on it, and them telling her you need to delete this and things like that. She said something during a heated, horrendous political event that caused the company to have to reconsider scheduled times, had to turn off phone calls because employees couldn't work. It costs that company money. The company is not a person, they are an entity. So the best thing the company can do is going to be to look out for itself. It sucks, but it's the way it works. An apology would not have done anything, also. The anti woke would have taken the apology and spit it right back in their faces. They would have said it was fake PR apology. They would have said that they were right. Then they would said, oh, they're not firing her, so they're not really apologizing. So that apologize means nothing. There's nowhere you can step with these anti-woke people that they're not going to twist something around. There is no way to get on their good side. There is no right answer. They will flog you until they can get nothing else out of it. She and her peers wondered if the deluge of harassment would force the company to take action against the harassers. What action? Like, what are you going to do? The problem is like Alyssa Mercante's case is very specific to her. Yeah. Yeah, it put everyone in the spotlight. That's right. The whole company started getting harassed based off of her actions. But like, what do they want to take action against the harassers? What are they going to do? Most of these accounts are going to be burner accounts that lead nowhere. The police are not going to be able to look through all of these different things. And suing an anti-woker over this, one, the anti-woker's probably going to win. Yeah, loyalty in companies is not a luxury. It almost doesn't exist. But it's kind of that thing, it goes both ways. Um like imagine the blowback if one of the companies went after Smash JT. One, you have to prove that he was specifically running this kind of conspiracy to take down the game or things like that. You have to connect all of these random, for what, hundreds, thousands of people. There's just literally nothing the corporation can do about it. The right answer is basically say nothing, and eventually they lose interest and go away. I mean, you see, like, what would the sales of Yotei been better if they had done the PR apology? Probably not. Would it have been worse? Probably not. To be fair, Smash would probably just walk into the lawsuit anyway. That's fair enough. That's fair enough. Uh, I just like this is what do you want them to do? What do you want this company to do about random people, especially in the United States? Anyway, they may be able to go after individual people who did things like maybe really horrendous, but even death threats, if they don't have any real threat to them, are freedom of speech. You can't. They're, the FBI is not going to investigate every single death threat that the company got. They may look into them and see if they're serious. There may be a little investigation there to see if they're serious, or at least pick out the ones that are more serious. But yeah. In 2023, the Washington state judge found a man liable for nearly $500,000 after he harassed a community manager of Destiny 2. After the employee shared the online creation of a black fan, the judge said he faced a campaign of racist, scholastic terrorism and included a hideous, bigoted voicemail. Um, I don't know. I'd have to look into this case to see. Is it in New York? Oh, she actually sent the fucking case. King County, Washington, state of Washington. I'll have to look at that later. $500,000. It, the thing I have with the problem I have with things like these is the same thing I have when it comes to like anti-wokers. Just tag the FBI on Twitter. It's a sure way to get their attention, according to some. Oh man, yeah, I would have to read more about this. Like if this person was specifically targeting the Destiny manager, leaving voicemails on his phone, it really depends on what was going on. This word I fucking hate. This needs to be abolished from this ideal. You can get into like harassment. uh I don't know what a hideous bigoted email would be. If we as an industry got better about realizing when harassment is happening and standing up as a block, maybe this would stop harassment, but there would be much more hesitation to do it. No, because the internet is fairly like anonymous. Like this is probably a pretty precedented case. You don't hear about this happening often. Harrison, though, said that no senior members of Sucker Punch management or executive team spoke to her in the hours before she was fired. Yeah, they were probably told not to. Not all cases are the same. That's true too. Not all cases are the same. So, like, this could have been incredibly uh terrible in the way they did it, right? Because racist comments and bigoted comments aren't necessarily or aren't against freedom of speech, right? So I mean, the fact that the judge said hideous bigoted email makes me wonder what was said. Harrison, though, said that no senior members of Sucker Punch Man has reached out. If we had an industry that got better at realizing, yeah. And this, here's the problem with this. And it's the same problem with a lot of this stuff when they talk about it. Where's the line to what people consider harassment? You can like when does it like when you start getting into this? We need to find. I agree. We need to find a line where harassment is. Um, but like, how are you going to do this in a way that it doesn't get abused? Freedom of speech is incredibly strong in the United States, and there are people who will say you harass them just because you responded to their public tweet criticizing them. So it's like, where's the line in those? Being able to say whatever you want, or the person saying that anything is harassment. I know within our studio, there's this mentality of don't feed the trolls. There's going to be harassment. There's going to be people on the fringes that nibble at you. Just ignore them. They continue. But that comes with an era of the internet where everyone was on forums in these siloed communities that were moderated, and you would have a lone actor enter a community and try. What? No, come on now. Come on. 4chan, fucking Reddit, fucking yeah, this has been a thing long before a lot of this was going on. I mean, is she talking about going like back to the old AOL days, maybe? Uh, but the internet's been pretty toxic for a while, and everyone would starve them for attention, and the moderators would put them in their little bubble. But that's not how the internet works anymore. It's people with global reach, an agitator that has millions of followers, and they use coded language and dog whistles to speak in a way that lets them shrink accountability and responsibility. Whoops. Why did it do that? What the fuck? What the fuck? All right. Ghost of Yotei was released with critical acclaim on October 2nd. Uh, According to researchers, this is kind of just, it went well at this year's Game Awards, tied with Ghosts of Death Stranding 2 on the beach. Harrison said she did not receive any severance for the industry standard ship bonus, a crash injection given to developers who worked on a game as a celebrated release. The days after well, she wasn't with a company anymore when it happened, so I don't know many companies that'll come back and give you the bonus afterwards. The day after, imagine like you run into the middle of your company developing a video game and you just start yelling the N word at any black employees, and then you get mad that you didn't get your bonus check. That's a little bit of the extreme, but it's like you were fired. Yeah, I wouldn't expect a bonus check to come in. The day after Yotai's release, Harrison posted on Blue Sky saying, as it turns out, my joke didn't make the game any worse. Yeah, I saw this. My firing didn't make the game do any better. So really the only thing that the harassment campaign succeeded in was sucking out of the joy out of my life. So I guess that's a W. 2 months after her firing, Harrison told me she's extremely depressed and isolated. I mean, yeah, sure. And is trying to fill her day with things to bring her joy. I'm not sure if I want to try to stay in the industry that seemingly does not value its employees or support women and diversity. Oh, you sweet, sweet summer child. There, I remember reading about how the industry used to be, where they would hire a bunch of people in to make a video game, and then once that video game released, they would just drop everybody but like the key leadership. And that was just how the industry worked. I've accepted that even Sucker Punch is changing from what I really loved about it, and that's been helping me to move on, and that I was there for the best of it. Um, I can't say that that wouldn't have been a bad move for Sucker Punch to let her go in a smaller form, right? If they didn't have Sony over their backs. Um, but you never know, I suppose. This idea that companies have to defend their employees against everything outside, especially when it's kind of like you have to defend the employee against the consequences of what they said. And I don't believe in that consequences of your action stuff when it comes to business. Like, yes, the association side of it, but if you go and find that personal information and then harass their work when they had no connection to it, that's not consequences for your action. That's people actively harassing and doxing you. Harrison's firing hasn't stopped reactionaries from speaking negatively about Yotei and the team that made it, and saying things to them wouldn't have stopped it either. In the days after its launch, a false rumor spread that a potential ending involved Atsu in the lesbian relationship with another character named Akuki. Much to the alt-right's disgust, a large number of detractors believe that the recent circuit numbers show Ghost of Yotei ranks within the top 10, base best-selling games in 2025. Thus far, are purposely doctored or otherwise inaccurate. Oh, that's a Smash reference. Some replies to Ishii's nominations for Best Performance of the Game Awards call her a terrorist. They once jokingly tweeted that they were Antifa in a DEI hire and other express disbeliefs and disdains. Yep. And then when the ire of Yotei eventually fades, Harrison knows that it'll just be transferred to another game, another group of developers, another individual, and that's why she wants people to remember what actually happened to her. I was fired because of a harassment campaign. I wasn't the result of bad jokes. I don't want to see this happen again to anyone because I feel like the state of everything, it will absolutely happen to other people. Sure, it probably will, but uh, is this the Mercante's piece? Yeah, this is the Mercante's piece. Um, I mean, there's a lot to disagree with it. Like I said, she chose to make the joke. The joke caused massive backlash for her company. Sony and Sucker Punch had a right to get rid of her. Um, they're I don't know what they want anyone to do about the harassment that happens to these companies, right? A lot of it is just like hold your ground, don't say anything, don't give them more to feed on, and then just launch the game. And honestly, that that take worked for Ghost of Yotei, right? We've seen the anti-woke lose; they're losing a lot of steam, continuing to go after this game that clearly is doing well, might actually win some awards, but because it didn't make game of nominated for Game of the Year, it's a complete and utter failure. It's brain dead material. So yeah, that's the article that went through there. It's kind of this thing where like neither side wants to acknowledge what was said. Like Harris should acknowledge that. I mean, she kind of did, right? But it wasn't. But then she says, "Well, it wasn't over the joke. It was because of the harassment campaign." These people always say harassment campaign as if these people are following a playbook. Also saying alt right as if she knows the politics of Anon. Yeah, I mean it's the same talking buzzwords that you hear from people like Smash JT on the opposite ends, right? DEI broke, lefty initiatives. The amount of times I've been called a lefty here recently is astounding to me. And it's the same slap fest back and forth. Companies don't care anymore. They're just going to get rid of the problems and move on. Yeah, companies will never protect you no matter what is going on. It's not all for naught, it's just one for all. Exactly. Like, if you work for a company and they have a motto on their board that talks about their employees and things like that, they do not believe that shit. They put it on there because they want you to believe that shit. They will drop you in a heartbeat. Um, let's see here. I need so, but yeah, I'm not a big fan of that article in general. Run from the companies that think employees are family. Yeah, 100%. Oh man. I worked for one that was really big into the community, and we want to build a community with our employees. And I mean, there were cool things they did. The company had a really good raise platform. I'll give them that. Like when it came to companies, it was better. Like you actually got a percentage based off of your performance, and then you got a percentage based off of the company's performance at the end of the year. But the company was a not for profit. Not to be confused with nonprofit, it was not for profit. So they had to pour all of its money back in. And I think 1 year I got like a 11% raise for, doing good. They were very willing to give people uh, decent raises and things like that, and then you paid fairly decent for what it was. It was call center work, so it sucked, but it paid well for call center work. Uh, but even then, they do not care about you. They'll fire you in a heartbeat. They just happen to have some better ones, but you don't see a lot of that. Not in the places I've worked. But um, we're going to go ahead and move it right along. So, as y'all have been watching, I've been playing Ark for a while now. I'm really enjoying the game. It's very, very rare that in a month or 2 months that I put 100 hours into a game. But I've hit 100 hours in Ark. And my main thing, I haven't done any of the quests. I really need to do that. But my main thing that I've been doing is projects, right? I'm on this one. Supposedly this one is just leaving. So I already filled up my materials, provisions. I got to fill up. Those ones are a little more difficult. Survival items and weapons. There's been a lot of controversy around this game. And one of the biggest areas has been the PvEers versus the PvPers. Uh, if you don't know what Expedition 33 is, it is an extraction shooter. You go into the game and fight and run and hide against the AI, which is in this case robots that are trying to hunt you down and kill you, and other players who might be trying to kill you. Expedition 33. Did I say Expedition 33? Ark Raiders. Ark Raiders. Oh, shit. I don't know why I do that. I think it's because of all the Expedition 33 stuff coming up. Ark Raiders is a game that you go out, you try and gather as much equipment as you can, and you come back. As the enemies in there are other players who might be trying to take your gear, or the Ark themselves, which are robots that are fairly difficult to deal with in some places. A lot of the controversy has been around the PvP aspect. I think there's a lot of people who hadn't really played an extraction shooter before and saw all the robots and saw all the ideas of it and jumped in. Now, what's really strange about this game, like people are calling it a social experiment, is there's a lot of people playing nice, more so than people have ever seen in like most extraction shooters, right? People will team up. It's more prevalent in solo mode, but it is also prevalent in duos and trios, but duos and trios tend to be heavier on the PvP. My brother's theory is that when you have a buddy with you, you're much less afraid to attack than you are when you're running alone. Kind of that social experiment thing. So this probably because the game doesn't have player economy. Yeah, there's really not much of a player economy. Most of it's just you trying to get shit. Or get other people's shit. Or just try to get your shit back from other people. But so I found this video when I was just kind of listening to some stuff about Ark Raiders. Name of the video, it's by the Butter Anvil, 50K sub YouTuber. And it says Ark Raiders, the internet, and the PvP problem. So I figured while we're raiding, I would listen to this. I listened to part of it. Now I can already see where I don't disagree with it. And then I have another one who kind of takes the opposite approach that I think did a better explanation of this game, kind of more on what I believe. But let's watch this one first and see what is said.
Those of you who actually live underground, Arc Raiders is the latest and I would argue greatest member of the blossoming and controversial genre of PvPvE extraction shooters.
No, this is
You know that George Bush clip?
You leave the safety of your stash with a set of gear.
Hold on. This isn't the guy. It's him.
A lot of people are talking about.
Yeah, this is the one. I'm sorry.
There's something I've noticed about Arc Raiders that a lot of people are talking about.
Identity.
And it creates this weird contradiction in the game's design. On one side, you can go into a raid, play perfectly for 20 minutes, and still lose everything just because of one mistake or one unlucky moment. That alone is enough to make a lot of players rage quit. But on the other side, the expedition system asks you to willingly reset your entire progression, your skill tree, your benches, everything you've built, in exchange for cosmetics and a couple of bonus XP perks. My friend just finished the expedition, but hasn't pulled the trigger on it yet. I'll soon see exactly what they give him. But when you put...
I think it adds to the challenge. Yeah, I agree. The game would have been very boring if you didn't have the PvP. Like, there are tense moments in the game where, like, I hear another player breaking something open and I go silent, right? I don't want to break anything. I don't want to make any noise. I'm looking for the player and deciding on if, trying to figure out if I trust them or not, which is very rare. So the first thing he already talked about is, like, you can tell this guy doesn't play this kind of game. Yes, Arc Raiders is an extraction shooter where there's, in all extraction shooters that I know of, there's generally a wipe session to bring everybody back to zero, right? Because what happens is you get players who have all the gear at the top, who that nobody can basically beat from a lower level. So they end up going through and wiping everything. It puts everybody back on the same level. If you want PvE extraction, go play Escape from Duktov or Sulfur. Yeah, I've seen that game and wanted to look into it. Sulfur I haven't heard of. I'll have to look at it. But yeah, it's the Embark has probably the best wipe system I've seen yet, just because you don't have to choose. But I'm still up in the air on if that idea of people don't have to choose is going to mess up that play style. Because, one guy can just always never, wipe and keep all the stuff that he has and still get probably some of the new gear and things like that, but he won't get like the space, the storage space or any other bonuses that they're deciding to give with it. And then on the tension, like his very first statement is that you could spend all your time doing everything right, and then one mistake can make you upset and rage quit because you died and lost everything. Yeah, that's the tension of an extraction shooter. That's the idea of you are going in and risking what you have on you to get more stuff. It's the circle. You have to. A lot of people like to treat the extraction shooters and other games like this like it's a looter shooter, so you get the best gun. You need to have really no connection to any one gun, one piece of gear, one thing in the game. You go in, do your best, and if you die, you die. Have fun with dying and you get to go do it all over again. Old MMORPGs used to have similar death penalties. Yeah, they did. They walked so extraction shooters could run. Very nice, yes.
Those two systems next to each other, it creates this pressure on both ends. You can lose everything by accident, and you can lose everything on purpose. Either way, the result feels the same. More grinding, more...
No, it's called tension. You don't just want to run down a hallway when you heard somebody because there could be someone down the hallway. So you sneak. Maybe you go into a room and set a few traps. Maybe you go into a room, close the door behind you and barricade it. Maybe you push forward to find the guy to take his loot. It's a tension building thing that continues to push through with Ark.
More chances to get frustrated and more reasons for people to feel like the game is pushing them into a corner emotionally. That's the contradiction I'm talking about. I know everyone is all excited and hyped about Arc Raiders right now, and rightly so. Records are continuously being broken on Steam and on other platforms, but I think this needs to be talked about because before, When the idea of expeditions and their correlation with no wipes was presented by Embark Studios, a lot of people were excited about it, including me. I thought, hey, I'm not forced to reset my character. In fact, the idea of doing expeditions is actually intriguing. It kind of made me want to prestige, honestly. But now that it's here, it doesn't feel that way. And I'm not the only one saying this. But like I said, on the other hand, one of my friends, he's excited about the expedition. He just finished all the requirements in order to do so. But one reason is that he's a cosmetic whore. He loves them and vanity items. So this is a huge incentive for him to do it. Plus the small XP bonuses you get when you come back around to regrind the skill tree. And that's one thing that threw me off though. First of all, I don't care much about cosmetics. I need more of an incentive to do expeditions because this is a literal grind. Getting to level 75 takes work. And yes, I can understand if you went down the wrong skills, spent points where you didn't want to, and now you want to reset to get a fresh start.
People complaining about Ark don't realize that all things considered, Ark is the least punishing extraction shooter. True, absolutely. There are a lot of ways. I've lost a lot of weapons. Y'all have watched me die a lot and lose some of the most powerful weapons out there, but there's always a way to get it back, right? You can, most looter shooters don't even give you a free build with just like a basic gun and a few health, shield potions, shield rechargers and bandages, or even a grenade to go do things with. It is very much made for a normie audience, but it also still has the extraction shooter appeal for the more sweaty and more extraction shootery audience. So, and I think if they had done what they were originally doing with the PvE stuff, it would have suffered because of that. Electromagnetic storm. Let's go play around. There. Dark and Darker has the Squire system that keeps you your entry level gear, but you still have to buy potions and bandages. Yeah, so you could still go with it. I could argue that if you didn't get potions and bandages on a free loadout, that would suck, because it doesn't take much to take you down in this. But I haven't played Dark and Darker.
I understand that. And maybe down the line, they'll introduce a way to respec without wiping everything, even if it's expensive.
Okay, here's another thing about this idea of the wipe. This isn't a new idea by any means. You look at games like Diablo and especially Path of Exile and things like that. When a new season comes out, you have to build a new character and start over. What happens to people who play these games a lot is you start to get really good at getting through the basic content to get to the next level of stuff. Dark and Darker also segregates players with stronger gear. They queue up a high roller maps with stronger enemies and plays the similar power grid. That's a good way to do it. That's definitely a good way to do it. See, I would argue in Ark that like the more powerful gear isn't all that more powerful. There's a lot of people who will just straight up use like the Stitcher is a great close combat weapon that you can just use. So their weapons, in fact, I think they need to rebalance some of their higher tier weapons because no one wants to use them because they just get damaged so quick. But yeah, there's different ways to do that kind of content. So, but this is a natural system in a lot of different types of games. You know, I remember talking to my buddy about, Path of Exile 2, but then the moment I mentioned the season system where you have to make a new character, it completely threw. He's like, why would I want to make a new character and go through the same story all over again? And I was like, listen, once you start playing for a while, you're going to be able to blow through the main story in a matter of hours and go from there. So, just give it a try and we'll see where it goes. but it turns off a lot of people, and I think that's what's happening to a lot of these normie people who are used to PvE games, looter shooters, and hoping they can just run in and do what they want.
But this brings me to the bigger picture of why I'm even talking about this. When I made that video about the quiet part out loud, where I said Arc Raiders could be a serious contender for Game of the Year, I was talking from a place of momentum. I was winning raids, surviving everything, stacking gear, and pretty much just having fun. I mean, everything was going right for me. That was the high. That is the dopamine hit that keeps me coming back. But here's the other side of the loop. There are nights where you will die 7 to 10 times in a row. Nights where you can't catch a break. When you lose everything over and over and over again, and you start wondering why you're even pushing yourself this hard. And that's the love-hate relationship Arc Raiders builds. It's addicting and stressful at the same time. It rewards you, but it punishes you harder. And when you put expeditions into that equation, you start questioning whether resetting everything is worth that emotional swing. Especially when regrinding benches to level 3 or pushing back to level 75 already takes so much time and patience.
Yeah, so your first time going through benches and all of that is, yeah, it's difficult because you don't know what you're looking for, and you don't know where the items are. You know, there's a lot of different things you can say. Your second time through, you have all the knowledge you didn't have the first game. So you know what things to keep in your inventory to level up your benches. You know what arc to go after to get to your level 3s. You know where the quests are located, and all of that, you know, kind of stuff. Oh, really? So it changes the idea of, like, the second playthrough is not the same. Oh, shit. Oh, that's gonna suck. You know, it's going to be quicker. That's just how these kind of games work. You know what to do. You know what's going on. You're gonna know how to get better equipment quicker. You'll know where to get. Yeah, it makes you think. Now you're going through and getting to where you can do the new stuff. They have new. Did I bring a? I did not. Shoot. Oh well, I went light on this one. There's a speed to it, right? And what gets boring? Oh, fuck yes, let's go. I've been looking for that sucker for ages. Now I can actually make my favorite weapon more often. Hear that? Hear that? This is what I'm talking about. That's a player shooting at arc. But so it's once you're all powerful and you have all the gear and you have all the blueprints and you have everything, it starts to fall off. I was talking actually to my brother-in-law today about it, and he basically said, he's like, I don't know what else to do. He's much more efficient than I am, so he's almost done with his you know, expedition, his projects too. And you know, he's like, he doesn't really care for the trials. He doesn't feel like he'll ever be high enough on any of them to do anything. So there, you know, what are you going to do? You're more aware of the map locations, enemies too. Your first wipe is going to be the same experience. Woo! Hey. Friendly. Cool, guys.
Okay.
Scared the shit out of me.
That's scary. I can't hear you behind the door because the thunder is so loud.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But so yeah, it's gonna be the same experience. You're gonna get those same highs and lows that you're building up again, but there may be new arc, new weapons. The balance is gonna be different. You're not very inconspicuous while staying near the lamp. Yeah, okay, that's fair. I'm not the greatest.
On the other hand, the more you play Arc Raiders, the more you start to understand that this is a game of patience. Every raid teaches you something, and most importantly,
I agree with that.
No one. for the most part. You rely on your wits and your mechanical skills to outthink, outmaneuver, and outplay other raiders. That mindset eventually becomes second nature. I mean, you can't trust.
Mind if I roll with y'all?
I've done it so many times and gotten griefed or betrayed. It's so easy for someone to do that to you. But all of this begs the question, what's really the purpose of expeditions? Because the reluctance players have towards actually doing them says a lot. It needs to be looked at, I think. It needs to be studied. What's the real point here? I don't fully get it. There have to be better ways to add replay value without forcing people to wipe everything they've built.
They literally...
Players are already figuring...
This one's on that tower here, on the fire.
Oh, shit. I mean, they literally are giving you an option to not wipe. Oh, shit. Oh, it got me a little. Got me a little bit there. Let's go down. Like, they're giving you the option. You don't have to wipe. You don't have to lose your progress. You can just move on to the next thing.
Figuring out ways to shorten the grind. People are giving their friends blueprints, weapons, materials, everything required to push benches back to level 3 once they quote-unquote prestige, just so they can bypass the reset. And if you can instantly get your entire setup handed back to you, then what's the point of doing expeditions in the first place? The experience, I mean. So now we have another contradiction. People don't really want to do expeditions, but at the same time, they kind of do. They want the rewards, but not the punishment. They want the bonuses, but not the reset. It creates this weird tension where players are...
He calls these contradictions, but these are just parts of the game, right? Some people don't want to have all the powerful gear. No, I didn't. It was the bot was shooting at him. Oh.
Just run into and jump.
Oh.
That works.
Yeah. Maybe I shouldn't do that one on stream, but
yeah, there's like inside.
oh, he's not friendly, huh? And we got 4 now. Oh, 5. Holy shit, we're getting big. Hold on, we'll get back to it in a minute, boys. I want to see where this goes.
Want to pick out the bastion? I mean,
Let's fucking go.
Is there a way to get in this room?
You need a key or you glitch.
Does the glitch work?
They may have nerfed it.
Patched it. Still, yeah, still working a couple days ago.
It works on certain maps still, but sometimes
It works on this one unless they fixed it.
as soon as I actually doing.
Where is that bastion
Where's the
at?
bastion?
I don't even hear him.
I think he's at departure.
Safety in numbers, that's right. I think that's one thing that builds in this game. You get into solo and you're like, well, I'm by myself, but then you find a few friendlies and you're like, all right, we're gonna make this work. Problem is, I didn't bring much to fight a bastion. Oh, are they leaving? Are y'all leaving? All right. There we go. All right, well, y'all have a good one. I'm heading back in. So, yeah, what he's explaining is like the mechanics of the game. Is basically, yeah, this is what the game is all about. But it's a contradiction. It's not a contradiction. It's the way they've designed the game. And they've given people an option not to wipe if they don't want to. There's a lot of people I've talked to who are wiping. They just want to wipe and do it. you know, probably the people who play more extractions than even I did. This is actually really my first extraction game, first PvP extraction game. So he's just kind of lost in the sauce, I think, on this.
Caught between wanting progression and wanting convenience. And right now, expeditions don't seem to satisfy either side cleanly. But before I end this off, I want to add my own take on this whole thing. For me personally, I have zero interest in doing an expedition now. I don't want to reset. I mean, the incentive they would have to give me would need to be something far more worthwhile than losing everything I've worked for. And let me add this part of the conversation too. Blueprints should not be wiped.
I just want to wipe it and do it.
They're too rare. The RNG pool is already
Stop.
ruled.
Damage is
It's extremely hard to
make
get a
some
snap
post
blueprint,
about it.
for example, or an anvil blueprint, or any of the high tier ones that actually matter to me. I can't even count how many times I've gotten a Latina blueprint. That's been nerfed lately. That doesn't happen nearly as much, but blueprints alone are one huge reason why I would never willingly do an expedition. The risk isn't worth it. But there is something that would actually compel me to do it. If they added, for example, like a milestone system, something that gives permanent, meaningful upgrades each time you complete an expedition. For example, on the skill tree, stamina, slide distance, dodge recovery, dodge interval speed, or dodge roll recovery rate. Maybe even add increased reload speed or carry weight. Things that permanently increase your character's baseline power. Not in a broken way, but in a small incremental rewarding progression that makes you feel like you've gained something real for sacrificing everything. Because think about what you have to endure to earn that. You have to lose everything.
Yeah, but then you're talking about there will be players in the months and years to come that are more powerful than new players coming in naturally at zero. Like the stash space, I don't think they can do forever. But I don't think they can do that forever. I think that'll start running into problems. But you can't just sit there and... You heard the Steam notification sound? I don't think I have it. Someone may have asked me to play with them. Oh, look, you even got one of those. It's just going to, that'll propel out of control. I just absolutely think that'll propel out of control. Find 100 cooling fans when I don't need them. Damaged sector. Oh, excuse me. Nice. Is there anything out here? Oh, hell yeah. Little ammo case. It just comes down to, like, I don't want to lose things. I only want you to give me stuff. Ooh. And I'm sorry, that just doesn't seem like... For me, it just seems like the game will get overcrowded with too much gear. Woo! Yeah, nice try, you fucking storm. Do we got anything else? Damage heat sink. Searchy, what's else? We'll take one of those just because I'll sell those to my inventory. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think it's brain dead.
And then you have to put yourself back in a position through that emotional swing and grind from zero over and over again. And I'm not going to do that. There needs to be something permanent waiting on the other side, something that actually makes my character stronger.
I mean, there is bigger stash, which is like something people complain about a lot. There are some things. There's even, I guess, you'll get a few starting points into your tree, so you'll be ahead of anyone who's new to the game, trying to get in there and get the stash. Let's go down this side. Boom, boom, boom. All right. Now we get out of here. Look at that. That is beautiful.
Long time. And I think that would finally give me a reason to reset. At the end of the day, none of this means Arc Raiders is a bad game. Far from it. This is constructive criticism because the foundation is incredible. The potential is massive. But systems like this expedition, progression loss, the emotional swings, these things matter. They affect how players commit to the experience long term. And if Embark wants our creators to keep growing, like they said, a 10-year project, this is the perfect time to look at what's working and what clearly isn't. I'm sure they are. We're just gonna have to wait to see what's going on. Because the truth is, we're not really afraid. I mean, some people are afraid of difficulty. We're definitely not afraid of grinding. Most of us are afraid of losing things, but I think that most players are afraid of this feeling like the game is wasting their time. And that's where Expedition sits right now. It's like on a thin line between excitement and burnout. If something pushes people away from an otherwise incredible experience, that deserves attention. So the question becomes, what's Embark's goal here? Do they want Expeditions to be a long-term pillar of progression, a prestige system, a challenge mode, or just a cosmetic treadmill? Because right now, the design feels split, and if they want to clarify that vision, even adjust a few pain points, it would completely change how players feel about resetting their entire account. Anyways, let me know what you think about this in the comment section below. I'm pretty much done talking about this. I'm sure you guys have a lot to say because this has been talked about amongst the community, but I want to hear a direct concern below.
Oh shit, there's a leaper coming. Friendly coming in, friendly coming in. You got one more, I think. Come on, bud, hurry up, roll, roll. Oh, man. Should have been quicker. But, I mean, here's the thing that he says this is split, but it's not. Everything in Arc, I think, works really well in building up the tension of it. Yeah, you can lose everything you have, but look at this run. I just got something that I have been waiting to get for a while. The last blueprint to make medium gun parts, which allows me to build my favorite gun. Yeah, you run into people who shoot you, but you also run, 5-man teams, and sometimes you can get them to actually run the bastion or take down bigger items. You also run into interesting moments. I helped somebody earlier today. I brought out the 2 biggest guns you can have. I lost them on the next run, but on this run, they got caught by a rocketeer, which is that big one you just saw on the screen. And I helped them get through it, and then they tried to shoot me, so I shot them down with a machine gun and took their stuff. I think it's optimal to be friendly with other players because of the scary robots. Yeah, the robots do provide that, but that's where it's almost not optimal in trios, because you have 2 other people with you, so you have those people to help you with the scary robots. Then it becomes more aggressive in the way it works out. Next, we're going to give this guy goes into kind of like the PvP PvE problem more, and I think he talks about the wipes a little bit. I thought this one was pretty good. I'll probably have more to agree with on this one, but I'll talk about it as we go through it.
If you enjoy
gear and you fight robots and other players over the loot items scattered around the map. You grab what you can and you extract with it, but if you die, you lose everything you brought with you. This is the core of the game. Risk tolerance and management.
Let's go gambling! Aw, dang it! Aw, dang it! Aw, dang it!
The game has mechanics that let you mitigate risk, like free loadouts that allow for small gains with smaller storage, but with potential for huge come-ups if the circumstances work out, along with purchasable hash keys that allow for faster, quiet extracts. But in most gameplay, most players are gambling gear with the hope of leaving with more loot and more gear than they entered with. Just let me in! Oh god.
Oh, that was so close.
Holy shit, dude. Much like its objective extraction cousin Hunt Showdown, even before the game was out, players were praising the sound design of Arc Raiders.
Oh,
this is not an accident.
This game is all about sound. When I play on stream, it's almost a little harder because I don't have the full sound effects in my ear. But when I'm by myself, I got the sound up, you hear footsteps, you hear particular bots, you're like, oh no, that's one of those. The finals had great sound design too. Yeah, it seems like Embark has their sound design down packed. I need to go in here. Yes, learn my baby. Yes. 17 different sound effects for pulling the grenade lever pin. Holy shit. That's nuts. That's nuts and awesome at the same time.
Like Hunt Showdown, sound is extremely important to how the game is designed. The main threat of PvE in Hunt is how much noise it makes. Mobs bait extremely loud gunshots, cannons clink as you walk into them, and dying horses scream when they see you.
wow.
Well, the Ark are more of a threat than a Hunt zombie. Rocketeer! That's not to say all the same things don't apply here. It's not just immersive to hear a bullet crack overhead. It's also something the player has to constantly be making deals with. Walk into a camera, beep, 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 beep. Open a door, if anything, the Ark shooting at you is the least of your worries. They point bright lights at your position, they make loud sounds, and when you shoot back, you don't just waste ammo, you make a ton of noise. You know what else makes a ton of noise? The extracts. Despite what may come up later,
Nice.
those areas
Yeah,
are
I'm
just
sure they
not
do.
off limits. The game is actively encouraging combat in and near them. Of course, this being
go.
Ark Raiders, they don't mandate this, since you can bring in a Raider key for fairly cheap and get an almost instant low-risk extract from one of the many hatches. But this doesn't work with free loadouts, so if you want a guaranteed easy exit, you have to at least risk a cheap kit. Everything in this game has trade-offs. Speaking of, those hatches are locked off during map events, but of course, that's a consensual trade-off for the increased loot in the area. Another risk that leads to a greater reward. And what happens when the sound means that someone finds you? They're like, ah! In the building, in the building!
It gets cray cray.
They're in the door.
One down.
One down.
Two down.
I down one.
He's dead.
Let's go!
Yeah, I've had incidences like I don't do as much PvP. I kind of like skirt the shadows and break contact if I get attacked. But man, some of the times that you do fight, it can be interesting. I've seen people have like long range sniper fights where they're like running and hiding and waiting to find the next shot. And I've seen people just have like crazy close range slugfests.
Is that all of them?
Yeah.
Holy shit, dude! Let's go, dude.
Where's the
Oh
other
my
one?
god, they're gonna be
That's not
juiced.
one.
Or at least, that's what you might think if you just looked at the mechanics. But there's something else going on here. For some reason, and I have some ideas, Ark Raiders is the single most friendly PvPvE game I have
It's
ever seen.
weird.
Especially in solo lobbies, players will just walk up to you with their guns put away sometimes. And everybody has the don't shoot emote on standby. This can lead to some pretty cool moments, like players rescuing each other from Ark, multiple down strangers extracting together, and entire lobbies teaming up to become the ultimate Ark exterminators. Before I get to the next part, I need to make it clear where I stand. By virtue of me making this video, you may be thinking that I'm a certain kind of gamer. The guy who says GG easy in game chat. The guy who talks shit at the bottom of the leaderboard. The guy who insults enemies and calls them slurs in VoIP. But I'm
Yes.
really not that kind of guy. Not that I think it's some horrible evil, but it's just not in my temperament. When my teammates talk shit in CSGO, I get stressed out because now I have to back it up. And if I end up losing afterward, I will genuinely feel embarrassed. I'm the guy who kills you in Ark Raiders and says GG as I punch you in
Interesting.
the face. I've also had some great moments of cooperation in this game. One of my favorite raids ever was when me and some boys ran around Spaceport as an Ark extermination squad and eventually got 3 other squads to join us.
Hey, good work, boys.
It's dead.
Hey, what up?
Come on down, join the Ark Kill Squad.
Yeah, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 people with us right now.
Make a train on me.
Catch you guys
Make a train
later.
on me. Make a train on me. Make a train.
All right.
I'm so tempted to throw a grenade. Oh wait.
Oh,
wait,
wait,
why'd it close? Wait, what?
Oh no, it closed.
That stuff is cool and memorable,
Yep.
just like the fights are. The guy who attempted to stabilize me at the extract but failed because my health was too low made me laugh like crazy. I'm bleeding, I'm bleeding, I'm bleeding, I'm bleeding! No! Oh, ah! But regardless, I think a specific loud subset of the friendly community are taking things too far. Let's start with reasonable and work our way down. Shroud posts a clip where he attacks someone trying to extract and kills them. As he's joking about how this could make him a bad person,
I'm so sorry. Oh no! Ah, am I the bad guy?
and they realize they aren't equipped to handle the Ark nearby. As he attempts to use the extract terminal, a Rocketeer knocks him out of the extract and it locks him out.
No way! This is karma! No way! This is Carmine at its finest!
This is a funny clip. He killed a guy and then the game killed him. Nice little ironic twist. And some people thought that. This is satisfying to watch. Karma at its finest here. Poetic justice. Then we have more opinionated takes. I'm glad most people aren't like this. Love some Shroud clips, but I hope this happens to him every time. Bad guys need arc justice. Shooting guy on robot-infested extraction's a dick move. Extract killing is so pointless. And then we have unhinged. Yeah, that's I've never been punched in the face behavior. 50 fucking brain-dead monkeys liked that comment, by the way. Let's not avoid the elephant any longer. This game is a PvPvE shooter. That means the Ark and other players are completely on the table. You aren't breaking any rules or moral code by engaging with the game as the designers intended. The mandatory tutorial involves multiple raiders shooting you, and every bit of this game's design encourages and in some cases requires you to fight other players. The extracts don't scream like that for no reason. The point is to draw other players, and there's some obvious implications. If someone's extracting, that probably means they think they have enough stuff with them to bother extracting. That means they're probably worth killing to take their stuff. This is pretty simple, obvious stuff. This has some second order implications though.
Yeah, I mean, this kind of goes to what I was saying before. Like, the game clearly tells you what this game is about, but some people are going into it with this idea that that it should only be PvE. You know, and what's funny is like there's a ton of people there that are having fun with the game. And there's a ton of people being friendly, and there's friendly moments. But then there's these people that want them to go to just PvE, when that was kind of the whole reason they, you know, left that idea to begin with, was like they thought it was going to be boring. And I don't know how like a PvE server would work. I'll get down the line. Yeah. You'll get the game down the line, is that what you're saying? It's just, it's kind of like baffling to me. My brother-in-law is falling, you know, kind of into that too, where his brother won't. Hey, when you get it, let me know. Let me know. Maybe we'll do some trios on screen sometime. But his brother like won't go to any of the heavy places to do anything, and I was like, man, you got to kind of treat it like this is what you got to do, right? It's not a gear, you know, a looter shooter. It's extraction. You're gonna have that, and that tension brings. Where are you, you dirty little? Oh, there you are. I see you. I see you. Come here. Come here. Get the fuck out of here, tick. Where you at? Where you at? Where's the next one? Are we coming over here? Run away! Uh-oh. There he is. Come on. You want to go? You want to go? You jumped over me. Oh, I'm running out of... Alright. Pull out a gun. Pull out a gun! Whew. There we go. It's... And I'm trying to tell him, like, it's just part of the game. It's, fuck me. Ooh. Oh yeah, it's entitlement. This is what I expected the game to be. Why isn't the game exactly like I want? Every game should have every feature that I want in it. And it's like, I'm not good at Elden Ring or Dark Souls, but I don't think any game company should change the difficulty of the game because there are people who are not, you know, having a good time with it. It just may not be your type of game. Personally, I suck at this game, and I die more to raiders than I kill them. I still play it though because I like extraction shooters, I like stealth, and there is a lot of you know, legitimate tension building stealth in this game. Sometimes it's me just trying to get a jump on, you know, a raider who I think is going to kill me. Let's see what we can get here. Like this, I'm going into this electrical zone. You just heard that guy shoot. So, but let's keep going.
When I press that button, people might
Yeah,
come
it's the
running.
customer's
How do I
always
deal
right
with that?
mentality.
Where can I set up?
I've
Where
worked
can I
in
hide?
service.
Where could someone else be
Customer's not
hiding
always right.
now? The point is to play with the previously mentioned risk and to add dynamism to the system. Obviously, dying in the extract isn't usually fun, but it's not supposed to be fun. It's losing. If you never died at the extract, you'd never breathe a sigh of relief when you hit the switch. You'd never scream with joy when someone managed to distract the guy trying to thirst you just long enough for the sequence to start. They're gonna thirst me, I think, though. I got it, but they're probably gonna... These fuckers, dude. Oh, they got pushed out! Yes! For some more examples of the phenomenon this video is about, here's a video by Slorgs. This is a video of him hunting players. Pretty standard gameplay video, whatever. He does play into the ruining other players' day bit, which at first could justify the comments I'm about to read. But this isn't the same video where he says this.
To the untrained eye, it might have looked like I just missed every shot there, but you do need to understand that the sand and the sun were both simultaneously in my eyes. And also, I obviously deliberately let them go, knowing they'd pick up more higher tier loot later in the game, and I'd just come back around and take it from them later.
So I think it's clear to any mentally healthy observer that he's playing everything up because this is a YouTube video and it's meant to be funny. But I'm nothing if not fair. Here's the most objectionable part of the entire video. Slorgs and Dead Wizard fight some players in the extract and win. As one of them is being executed, the other extracts, meaning they don't get to loot the first guy. You could argue killing someone without the intent to loot them is mean. But first of all, you're allowed to be mean to your enemies in a video game. And more importantly, they aren't the ones who pulled the switch. They probably would have looted these guys if they had the chance, but they weren't given the chance. The comments that followed genuinely floored me. Real men hunt Ark, not other raiders. So, do real men read the Steam page? Right here where it says online co-op, online PvP? Or here where it sells its weapons by saying you can take down Ark enemies or fend off rival raiders? Or in this GIF where this guy beats this other guy to death with a fucking hammer? And remember, the noise of battle carries. Other raiders may be listening, eager to claim what you leave behind. I wonder who that's for. People who do this exclusively, like, what's the point? Simply ruining other players' experience for the sake of creating content? Sure, go for it if you really need that self-esteem.
Maybe I'm just hearing shit. I was getting nervous. Yeah, we're taking the amble. Alright, keep going. Where is the gun safe? There it is. Shotgun, we'll take that too. And actually, I'll go back and grab that pistol. Because I need to turn in weapons. Did I drop it? Okay. There it is. Yeah, there. Alright. No blueprints, man. That stinks. Alright. Alright, out of here.
Steam boost. It's quite pathetic and sad, really. I love the Slords content, but this might see me unsub. I'm just gonna plant a seed here, but it's really important to establish that you are consenting to PvP by downloading a game that advertises PvP on its store page. That's full stop. You aren't owed other players using tactics that you designate arbitrarily after the fact. They are bound by the rules of the game, not whatever arbitrary bullshit you decided was BM that morning. There's a broader issue of gamer bros mandating others play the way they want to, going back to yelling at people for using shotguns in Call of Duty, or spamming slurs since someone bought an expensive impractical auto sniper in a CS match. The phrase, don't hate the player, hate the game exists for a reason. If a tool's overpowered, that's an issue with the game, not with the player base. If someone in your match types 1v1 me with knife to decide the round, you are allowed to agree to do that. And maybe you'd lose some personal honor if you lied to a stranger to win in that case. But you would be hard-pressed to argue that you are now honor-bound to do that knife fight since they asked, and it would be wrong to just hold long with your M4 and win the game normally instead. I want to extend an olive branch though, because I think this isn't entirely the PvE crowd's fault. Before I do, let me tell you about a different kind of related item from the repeat sponsor of today's video, 5.
Oh, this
I
one's
worked for 5
closed.
before,
Okay.
so you may already know the deal. If you're over 21, you can get a bag of their THC gummies, drinks, chocolates, capsules, or even drops if that's your thing. I can personally vouch for the quick hits, the fast-acting gummies, and flavors like Blue Dream. Thank you to 5 for sponsoring this video. I think if you're leaving a review on a game saying it's bad because it's part of its genre, and that players engaging with its basic system should be punished for doing that, you're a fool. But I think there may have been some miscommunication. Not on Embark's part. People who can read shouldn't have a problem telling you what kind of game this is. But I think the early days of clips for this game gave a lot of people the wrong idea. Lots of content creators have talked a lot about how friendly the art community is. But what I think was implied in a lot of these conversations, but wasn't always said explicitly, is that they're more friendly on a gradient than other PvPvE games. Escape from Tarkov has voice over IP. Escape from Tarkov has...
Yeah, I can see that being a good point. Like, you hear how sweaty, like, Escape from Tarkov is, and some of the other games. So you hear friendly, and you automatically think, oh, no one's actually doing PvP. I mean, I didn't think that, but I'm sure there's someone who thought that. And then you get into it, and you realize, well, some days I just go and get killed a lot. I mean, in a lot of those situations, I think what you just need to do, like, I got frustrated. I got killed 3 times in a row. I was just, like, pissed off, starting to piss me off, which isn't something that normally happens with me when it comes. I mean, it does after a certain point. I was just frustrated, and the game wasn't going the way I wanted to. So I was like, you know what? I just need to back out of this. If the game's not having fun. Oh. Shooting at. Oh. Yeah. Someone was up there. Let's get out of here. So yeah, it's sometimes when you lose too much stuff or you're having a bad run, sometimes it's just time to turn it off. Play something else. Get back in the right mindset and move right along. I mean, this is kind of like someone playing a COD game, but being pissed off that they're dying all the time.
Has clips of people helping
well,
randoms
not this
and teaming
guy,
up
but
against
you know.
AI. But what it didn't have was that happening all over the place all the time. It was a rare exception to everyone shooting each other. But Ark was different. Ark was third person, meaning you could see enemies and talk to them before always having to risk getting shot by them. For the longest time, Tarkov's equivalent of the don't shoot emote Ark has was putting your body in front of their barrel and lean spamming in front of them. Raiders decreases the risk required in order to chance being friendly. Along with that, having an occasionally oppressive non-human enemy in the Ark can foster an us versus them mentality. I don't think it's a coincidence that solo players team up the most, considering the robots are the biggest threats to them in that queue. All that being said, this is all on a gradient, and that was never in question for anyone who's paying attention. If you like the olive branch, maybe hit the oil muff for this one, because I might get a little annoyed. One Peg made a video talking about how PvE and PvP players are needed for Ark Raiders to flourish.
Yes.
And frankly, the comment section was full of insane dumbasses. Games like this make it impossible to ignore how antisocial some people can be. It's not antisocial to shoot someone in a shooter game. And also, I'm very social. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you! I won't play Tarkov or Hunt because I have no interest in playing sweaty PvP shooter disguised as extraction. If you turn this game into another PvP sweatfest, it's gonna die.
I don't like that.
Ah yes, the famously hated and dead PvP shooter genre. Also, what do you mean disguised as extraction? This set of circumstances applies to every extraction game ever made. The genre is an offshoot of Escape from Tarkov. I'm not really a Tarkov guy these days, but what are we even talking about? I think it's funny when we have people saying this is a PvP game. Why, yes, this is true. But from the words of the developers, they're trying to make it a PvE game where PvE is the focus. That is the main danger. Then PvP comes second. But
I mean, he's reading shitter comments, so most of these people, I don't know, don't play the game, I'm guessing. But but I don't know that that's ever the idea. I'm so worried. I'm gonna hit this button, but I feel like someone's hiding. Alright, let's finish this out. Yeah, I mean, I like when people say they know what the devs' intentions were to any game. Now, I played enough hardcore MMOs to not want to engage with multiplayer extraction games. I mean, that's fair. That's part of them. I actually like the idea of it in a lot of ways, at least for this one. Tarkov, I just never saw myself getting into. But other ones, yeah, I absolutely do think that's a thing. That, I mean, I can understand why people don't like it. Like, I don't know that my brother-in-law will stick with it after the wipe, just because of the way he's talking about. But depending on how the wipe goes, the content and stuff like that, I very much think I could stick with it for this game for a while.
But for some reason, people keep getting it switched around. Source? This dichotomy is stupid and made up. Neither goes first. Whichever thing is trying to kill you right now is the thing you're fighting right now. The idea that the developers put in challenges for killing other players and mention your villain arc in the death screens, but actually they secretly only want you to PvP a little bit, is the dumbest cope ever conceived on the internet. And here's the kind that really pisses me off. The stupid assholes who act like you're out of line for not following the rules they made up in a YouTube comment. Are you ready? Arc Raiders has lore that pushes people to help each other's. You might not like it, but that's the reality of it. Go play trios and run towards gunfire if you really want fights. Let people enjoy the game the way they want. First of all, Mr. Lore Expert, I remember completing a quest where I bugged a, quote, rival cache for Tien Wen, along with quotes from characters like, I've treated a lot of injuries from the surface. Not all of them were from Arc. Second of all, how about you let me enjoy fighting players in the game with the PvP tag on Steam that I paid $40 for, you entitled fuck. Any friendly engagement in Arc Raiders or any other extraction shooter is interesting specifically because it's optional. You are bartering in trust with strangers who have an incentive to kill you. That's why the team ups are cool. Like with the gear you brought, you're risking something while hoping for something in return. Maybe you want another guy with you for protection. Maybe you want to feel good by giving someone an item they need. But when you do that, you are accepting the risk that that guy will shoot you in the back of the head and pick your body clean.
The point is that anything can happen. That's why anything that happens has meaning. And the meaning isn't always good. The betrayal feels bad because you knew he could betray you and you trusted him. And that's why it feels so bad. And working together feels so good because you knew he could betray you, but he didn't.
The variation, the unpredictability is
that's
the
a good
point.
way to put it.
That's why the arguing about whether the game is PvP or PvE is so stupid. It's PvPvE. It's both. It's what you and your fellow raiders decide it's going to be that day.
Oh my god. And there's definitely a thing that I've noticed, like time frames matter for types of players that are online. I feel like earlier in the day, in the evening, even until like right around now, everybody's really friendly. But here, once the clock ticks over to 11 and into 12, you start running into a lot more players who are looking to take you down. So,
I believe. Do you believe?
I believe. Oh. Stand up and then I believe. Oh, no!
The raids where you die and lose everything are there to enhance the time that you barely escape being third-partied at a queen and limp to the extract with more riches than you've ever seen before that.
I'm stealing the next thing.
Fucking go! I think it's also worth noting that friendliness isn't worth anything when it's mandatory.
And when everyone's
friendly!
No one will be.
No one makes a point of how friendly they are in Destiny raids, because no one ever had a choice. Friendly Guy is a Tarkov streamer who tries to see how far you can progress without killing other players. And if that were an intended playstyle, the entire premise would fall apart. It's a cool novelty, and all of that novelty goes away when all he has to do is whatever he wants with no consequence. Let me tell you about my very first raid in this game. In the server slam, I went around damn battlegrounds and picked up loot like any other player. But I misunderstood a bit of the UI. I thought the timer on the extracts was when they opened, until a pop-up showed up on my screen telling me that the extract near me was closing, so I needed to get a move on. As I approached the extract, I got into a firefight with another guy trying to take it, and I won. But unfortunately, the fight took too long and the extract was done. After fighting off a nearby hornet though, I was out of ammo. No worries, I just needed to loot the guy I killed, and bam, incoming sniper fire. Alright then, I guess I just need to escape. A narrow miss later, and I broke line of sight. Now I was ammo-less on my way to the new extract. Luckily, before I got to the extract, I found a kettle with 1 mag loaded. And as I approached the extract, I saw another raider. It took all but one of the rounds from my gun, but I took him down. With 2 empty guns and a backpack with some okay scraps in it, I escaped with my life. Now, am I meant to feel bad about that? I stopped 2 people who were trying to extract. Did I steal their joy from them? Or did I have a cool story that I get to remember as long as I play this game? The sniper shooting at me, he fired toward the extract. Was he doing something wrong to me? Am I meant to be mad at him? Because this story is way worse without the incoming rounds narrowly missing me. And if that's the case, then if you were better at the game, would it be wrong? What are we even talking about at this point? Everyone involved in this story was engaging with the game as intended.
I don't have the kind of time and willpower to lose it all. Type of games. That's fair enough. It's fair enough. I could say the only reason I played as long as I have is 1, I've been playing it a lot on stream, and 2, I have some evenings where I've gotten on and played with like my brother-in-law and a couple things like that. This game has me addicted. I haven't even touched RimWorld in quite a while since it came out. So, but I understand it. It's not a easy. It's not that it's not easy. It's a different kind of game that a lot of people can have issues with, right? It's heartbreaking sometimes when you have something that you want taken from you, your favorite gun, whatever else happens. But when you get something out of it, I know what I can do. Come here. Spring. Oh, yeah, go give me all those springs. Thank you, dirty girl. All right. Yeah, it takes a certain kind of person, I think, to want to play these kind of games, to be able to lose it all. I've recently, in the last 5 or 6 years, become really into roguelites, where you end up like losing your entire save over at Caves of Cud, Dwarf Fortress, where your whole place can get taken down, and there are a bunch of other ones that I've played. So this is like, to me, is like small fry. Oh, you mean I'm not going to lose my entire save like in Caves of Cud? I just lose that one bit of gear.
And losing a game doesn't make the game illegitimate, especially if the rules are clearly communicated beforehand. This game prevails because of its stories. My first raid would have been a boring nothing without PvP. Yeah, I walked around, picked up some stuff, and then I saw the extract was soon, so I left. The end. Obviously, you can prefer whatever you like. Some people just don't like dying in games. Some people get bored when they think a game's too easy. But just because you like something doesn't mean you're the only person at the table. Back to the broader point, stories
You
thrive
played
on
Agman?
conflict. Let me show you a video by another creator named Lucci.
Hold on. It's Agman. I bet you I know it. What are you doing? I don't give no flying fucks about my Steam performance. I gotcha. Yeah, I mean, Dwarf Fortress is that way, where, oh yeah, it's ASCII. Ugh. Yeah, Dwarf Fortress is that way, where you need like an instruction manual. You have to almost watch videos that are out now on it to learn how to play that game. It can be so complicated. What do I have? Why haven't I sold this yet? Can I get, like, what do I get out of this? No, I don't want that. Anything that could have a battery in it. Does this have a battery in it? No. Nothing above it's gonna have. All right. Let's go here. But yeah, I mean, I love those kind of games. There's nothing like opening a hole in Dwarf Fortress and just monsters pouring out and destroying your whole base, or one of your guys becoming a vampire.
In this video, Lucci plays the sheriff, complete with hat and everything. He finds murderers on the streets of Buried City, and he puts a stop to it. He plays into the evilness of the murderers for the bid.
You!
What's going on?
This
Oh,
guy
I've
just murdered
actually
an
watched
innocent
this
man
video.
while he was looting. I need you to execute him.
This guy?
This guy that's down right here, yep.
He was gonna kill me.
Put him out, you piece of shit.
But it's clear he doesn't actually take it that seriously.
Okay, remember when he said he just murdered a guy somewhere over that way?
Yeah, you just killed that guy over there. I just killed him. Like, that was some cold blood.
I mean, 2 wrongs don't make a right. Should he be taking justice into his own hands and killing a killer? You know what I mean? When you think about it, I'm the sheriff. That's my job. You call me if you need someone to take care of something like that. That wasn't his job to go out there and be killing people on the behalf of other people. You know what I mean? We may have just murdered an innocent man. But who's to define innocence? You know what I mean?
But obviously, you can't have a sheriff going around solving murders when no one's murdering. Some players are losing the line between fantasy and reality. Obviously, outside the context of the game, it's wrong to kill other humans during an apocalypse. But this is a game, and mechanically, there's a whole lot of fun to be had hunting the most dangerous game. And at the end of the day, who's really the one bringing the mood down here? The guy who killed the other guy in the game with sledgehammer violence on the Steam page? Or the guy bitching and whining because he died in a video game?
Die.
Obviously, losing at games can get frustrating, but if you can't handle the emotions of that, that is absolutely and completely on you. You are not owed victory in a game, even if you wave a white flag at the beginning of the match. To those who say, you're ruining other people's experience, this is a mindset issue on the player's end. If your experience is good when you win and bad when you lose, you shouldn't play a game where other people are in competition with you. At the very foundations of extraction games, they are only appealing because of risk. You risk what you bring in with you, but it's only a risk if you die sometimes. The worst thing that can happen to me when I start a new extraction game is a dozen back-to-back wins. That means the game isn't pushing back, and the threat of loss dissipates, and it's all meaningless. Grinding for grinding's sake doesn't appeal to me. That's why I don't play MMOs. And even when I go in without the idea of being friendly, there's also another phenomenon that excels in Arc Raiders. Tactical friendliness.
I would argue it's a grind of some kind, right? It's just sometimes you grind and none of your grinding meant anything.
In the end, we always go for kills because fuck other people. I'm the only one that matters.
Yeah, unless they get the jump on us, in which case we love peace. Oh, a guy snuck up on me? Yeah, I'm totally friendly, man. Oh, I just whiffed a sniper shot at you and gave up my advantage? I'm just kidding, I'm lurking around trying to find the guy I heard and put a round at his back.
Friendly, bro.
Oh yeah, man. Absolutely. Tactical friendliness can absolutely save your life in the right situation, but it can't in every situation. That's what makes it interesting. The dichotomy of PvE and PvP players isn't real in my experience. I go from one to the other multiple times in a single raid. If I see a guy out in the open, I might try to get him, and if I need to get through somewhere sketchy, I'll make friends with whoever will take me. I've gone from killing a player to friends with the next within a minute, and I don't think I'm some crazy exception. I think some people got told this was a different kind of game than it is, and since it has a great world, and great mechanics, and great movement, and great audio, and everyone's talking about it, they want to be part of it, even though they're opposed to its design on the genre level. Like the third-person conversation with this game.
Yeah, I can
Everything
see
has
that being a
trade-offs,
true
and
thing.
Embark has clearly made very considered choices with how things function. This weighty locked-in movement, all this rolling, and all these flying enemies that surround you would be really tough to deal with in first person. That's why this game has such a good third-person camera, because it's important to how the game plays. The same applies to its PvP. You need to know someone could shoot you at any time for the system to function. The arc can be difficult in specific circumstances. He doesn't know. No, he knows! The people who want a PvE mode for this game aren't really considering how significantly worse it would be to play. The Ark are well designed, fun to fight enemies, but they do not have the replayability to carry the entire combat loop on their own. I shudder at the thought of the silent walking around opening up containers simulator that game would be. You can advocate for this mode if you think it's a good idea, of course. But leaving a negative review on a game for not being a genre that you like is stupid. I'm not downvoting Femboy Fuda House because they didn't add enough PvP, because that's not something it's reasonable for me to expect. And before I get comments like that one peg video, let me super duper verified confirm what I'm saying. Teaming up with other players is cool. The fact that so many people are doing it in this game is cool. The moments where players arrive out of nowhere to save me or scare the shit out of me by randomly showing up in my extract set this game apart from its competition. And for every stupid comment about how this game should...
One of the best moments I had, it may have been on stream, was I was moving from bush to bush, and I popped out of a bush, and there was like a guy coming towards me, and he was like, "Oh, holy shit, I didn't see you there." And I was like, yep, I'm one with the woods.
should make shooting people illegal. There were tons of edgy losers bragging about how they were going to spend all afternoon extract camping purely for maximum tilt. But just because the thing's enjoyable doesn't mean it should be mandatory or maximized. People being friendly is fun. A lot of people being friendly is fun. That doesn't mean more friendly equals more fun. Look up the golden mean, people. Everything in moderation. If you can't handle me at my third partying some guys who kill the queen because I'm in the right place at the right time, you don't deserve me at my dropping random BPs I found unprompted.
That's where I could probably get better at this game, is being more aggressive. Because I guarantee you, those things scare the shit out of me.
And remember that we deserve whatever comes after.
Exactly. I think the response from the PvP defenders has been lacking too. Any game that has any punishing element whatsoever will always be defended by morons screaming skill issue at anyone with criticisms. Elden Ring! Just because someone doesn't like fighting utterly rich slot machines, you will just get fucked sometimes. That can be mitigated or balanced against, but at the end of the day, if a siege attacker and defender don't move, the defender will win. There are sometimes inherent imbalances to things conceptually that cannot be completely addressed. You will get shot in the back sometimes, and that's okay. Arc Raiders is the most accessible extraction shooter ever made, so I think to some degree it was inevitable the internet was going to find something to fight about. Either way, I thank you very much for watching, and I hope you enjoy your raids. Allow me to thank my patrons and channel members. Both get early sponsor-free access to my videos, as well as my Google Drive, so you can see the videos I make and don't make. Thank you to Mariano Rebufo, M Shark, Big Nuts 50.
So, yeah, like I said, a good video. It's like the opposite opinion of what others are saying. I mean, and I really do think like this PV... What the fuck is that thing? Oh. That's a player. Oh. She's looking for someone over there. Him. Well, I at least know there's someone else in the building. There he is. There's another guy in the back. Might see me. Hey, friendly. See what stuff we can get here. I'm gonna play for the last hour of stream. If anyone's got anything they want me to watch, want me to see, just let me know. Let's switch over to my, in case these motherfuckers get crazy. I'll take that. I need stuff that's worth money. There. Nothing crazy so far. Should have went with a bigger loadout. Some blueprints. Let's at least put that in the prison pocket. There we go, that's worth some money. Money. It's like people who, you know, came in, had fun with the game, but now it's not playing exactly the way they wanted to. It's weird to me. That doesn't sound like Arc on Arc. That did. Wow, that's it? Just one? bum, bum. We get quiet. Go with that for now. It's an arc looking inside. Arc scanning. I don't need that. Oh man, like next to nothing good. Next to nothing good. This is usually my go-to spot. Actually, let's take that. I am trying to do money, 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 money. Ignore that. This one usually has 2 in there. Did I get those? I got those ones. 2. That's worth a little bit of money. I'll give you that. You should always take seeds. Always take seeds. Otherwise, you're just leaving items on the table. You know, like Yotei left money on the table. Like it. That's good. This is probably going to be a quick run. I need to get the bigger backpack. This one never has anything. I'm always like waiting for a bag. Boom. Let's head out. We'll head for it. Oh, that one's not open. Let's go that way. Detour. Someone is fighting a bombardier. Not a very good run. I see you boys. Oh, he saw me. I was not paying attention. Where's your friend at? Where's your friend at? Oh, someone just left. Alright. Oh, leaper. Yay. Ooh, someone just hit the button. Ooh, he's going after him. Is that just a flare that just went off? He's going. Dude shooting at it. I'm here just tired. You're always tired, Grizzle. Friendly coming in behind you. Oh boy. Big boy. Boom. It's okay, Kimoji. You got a new partner. Or not Kimoji, Grizzle. You got a new partner. I made Kimoji mod too. What was a little wild? That run? Or that monster? The extract? Yeah, it can be crazy sometimes. They like to put leapers get pretty easily attracted sometimes to extracts, but a ton of things can. Tons of people, then the robot appeared just there. Yeah. Well, someone hit the button. Everybody else was waiting on the outskirts, not wanting to get extract killed. Not wanting to get ratted out. Did I actually level up this thing? No, I didn't upgrade. Yeah, level up this time. Thank you. Nobody wants to be the first. No, you definitely don't. Sometimes you'll run in there and there'll just be a group that runs in behind you, takes everybody out. What did let's see, projects. Survival items. Give them all the money except for my duckies. Nice survival items too, so we may have to do. I guarantee you that guy that he was getting attacked by the leaper, I guarantee he wanted to he wanted to get in there as quick as possible. Electromagnetic storm. God. That's the way up. I need to. Let's go back real quick. I need to build something that can hold a little more workspace. Here. What do I need for that? Processors. Okay, we're just gonna go with like what I got. Oh, and in we go. Woo. Yeah, let's go. Let's go. Do I think I head up that way? No, this is just a breached room. Faster. You. Charger. What's that? Friendly.
Friendly. All good.
Right. Water filters. Yo, what's going on, bud?
Bro, just hunting for snitches. What are you doing?
I'm just trying to get stuff for my extract, or for my expedition. Same to you. Good luck hunting. Maybe going for the same thing. I might have to take him out. Noticing a lot of weapons on this game have low magazine clip sizes. Yeah, the whole idea is to get better magazines for them. Okay, he went somewhere else. That will increase it. Also, a lot of times, what's the word? A lot of times, you'll upgrading them gives you better ammo capacity for them. But yeah, it's not like the Stitcher is really great in the beginning, but will get, or not really great in the beginning, but once you start getting like a good magazine on it and stuff like that, then it like starts to shine. Oh, damn it. Yeah, weapons aren't good out of the box. You usually have to upgrade them. And every weapon has kind of like a different thing. Stitcher is really good close up, little SMG. My Renegade is lever action, medium weapons. Oh. So it just depends on the situation and what stuff you have to add to it. We need weapons. I guess I don't wonder if the weapons kits count. Probably need to start running more keys. That I'll take. What is that? Silencer 2. Nice. They're not like highly customizable. It's mostly just better things for better, you know, some things are better for weapons, some weapons and some for others. Like dispersion can be a big thing, especially with like the Stitcher spreading out too much. Shotguns kind of suck right now, but they're really only good against players. They have low damage against other enemies. So I mean, there's something to it. The problem the game has right now is no one's really using a lot of the better weapons. Yo, what's up? They're using the Renegade is one of the popular ones. The Anvil, which is a 6-shooter, is one of the popular ones. But let's go this way. So, ooh. Alright, let's go to the control. So they really need to, the problem with a lot of the purple legendary weapons is they break so fast that they're not worth using. Like, oh shit. That's interesting. We'll go this way. Yeah, they're just not worth. Ooh, someone's getting their ass handed to them. Ooh. Shit. He goes away. We're going to get that guy's loot. Ooh, I actually have a... I'm trying to get to you. I think she made it. Ooh, it's hunting. All right, we're just gonna hang out here a minute. All right. And we're gonna go this way. What do we got here? What do we got here? I don't care about that. Someone's already been in here. Still searching, you never know. Oh, up. Always take a duck. Let's... I need wires, I need batteries, I need chips. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, that's the problem with taking like a free loadout, is you can't carry much, you don't get a prison pocket, and you start with just like a basic weapon. So killing Ark can be very hard unless you get lucky and get like a Pharaoh, and even then it's... Whoa! Thanks, bud. That. Where do we need to head? I guess we'll head to water treatment. Maybe we can get lucky there. Go down this way. Go down town. Was that at me? I just need to find a raider. That's what I think I need to do, because I'm not having any luck here. Doesn't look like anyone's been around here. I got one more area I can try too. Rid of that. Rid of that. I have those. I don't really need that. The motor though. Someone's been here. Uh-oh. Where is it? Right here. Yeah, I fixed my mouse sensitivity and some of the settings I had on it, and it's definitely feeling at least a little bit smoother. I'm still a shit shot, but I didn't need that. I don't know why I grabbed it. Here shooting. I think that's bots. Take that. We're already back at the facility. Floodgates. This is probably around where I need to head. See if I can hit a few more spots. See if I can actually get something to drop. Yo, what's going on? Oh yeah, all right, cool. Here we go. Let's see if anyone ran at it yet. Is this the one? I don't think this is it. I think it's up top. Yeah, it's out there. Okay. Probably this way. Up top here. Yes, there it is. That's what I want. And it looks like the bridges are... We'll see. Oh, they're down. Let's go. Let's go! Let's see what we can get. someone just go across into there? Losing my mind. Yo. Oh, nice. All right. I'll take that. See, you never know what you're going to get. You probably got everything else. Let's see if he hit the other one. Boom, boom, boom. Not, yeah, this one. No, that one's the one down. Yeah, someone got in here. Ah, damn it. Nothing. Nothing. All right. Start making our way to an exit. See what we can do. Find on the way. Not very good runs. Ooh, let's stay away from that bombardier. I have a feeling I'm gonna have to start killing people to get more weapons. There's old roly-poly himself. Anyone? Oh, he's smoking. Hold on here. Wait a minute. Oh, I might be able to take him out. Let's see if we can. Guy behind me, you never know. There's they always come out of nowhere. What's that? Barely did anything there. We're gonna go back out. Okay. one's been a bust. Let's hit Buried City. See what we can find there. Ooh. Probably. Faded photograph, maybe. Full start of a run. We're going raider hunting. We'll see how that goes. Give him some time to get some gear. See what we can find in the process. Unless I get super lucky, in which case we may not. But right now, boom, 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 boom. Let's work on Rosa Plaza. I missed. Well, that didn't work out. Ooh, shit. Splat, yeah. He just went down there. Ooh, no, 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 no. Oh. Was this a train exit? Oh, I forgot. I haven't used this one. Dun, dun.
Hello.
What's going on? Yeah. Oh shit. Ah. Too close, too close. Heard these have good loot, but it generally has to be in projector. Don't be crap about a projector. Mm-hmm. That one I made it. Nice. That. Not with this bombardier so damn close. Alright. Fuck me. What is this? Oh, it's one of these guys. These are actually worth quite a bit of money. Really? Really? Can you see how good I am at this game? I am like one of the bests. Oh shit, this guy's. Alright. Why can't I recharge? Oh, my shield is recharged, so I don't need recharge from shield. I need health. Oh man, you can still see me? Let's see what's going. You are a god at this game. That's right. That's right. There is no one that can beat me. Where is he? Where is he? Ooh. God damn, get through that armor. There we go. Fuck me. Well, bastard didn't want to go down. Oh no, that doesn't sound good. Inside. Inside. Yeah, let's stop doing that. Wasn't even that far. Town hall I can't get into. Let's hit Pazio Plaza. See who we can find there. Someone is going at it with a bastion. Alright. Let's have a grenade ready. Just in case. Space area, we can do that. I feel the older I get, the less video games feel fulfilling. A lot of them feel like busy work. Maybe getting old has normie pilled me. It's possible. I mean, a lot of games do repeat the same premise. Like I get tired of genres from time to time as it goes on. Extraction has kind of like, or at least this one has kind of like brought me back a little bit to third person, first person shooting. Because I fell out of those a long time ago. So I think it just depends. For some people, it may lose their. What's that? Smoke's right there. Here's somebody. Let's get a better angle on it. So, I mean, everything is busy work depending on how you feel about it. I do my D&D stuff, and that's just writing paperwork and doing the grunt work. It feels like I'm setting up an essay for a class or something like that. Baldur's Gate is the most enjoyment you've had in a while? That's fair. Is it just those... Is it the story style of Baldur's Gate that gets you going, or is there something else that brought you to it? Because I know with a lot of people... it brought him back to D&D, we'll say. I think it was a variety, just how thoroughly the developers accounted for decisions. Yeah, I think that was one of my favorite things about them. I've been a fan of Lyrian Studios for a while, because I've played their other titles. And even their other titles, while not as story detailed as that, there was like a lot of ways to complete the game. And they also like owned their like game breaking stuff, like in Dragon, or in what's it called, the Original Sin 2. You can, if you take a chest and you put hundreds of thousands of items in that chest, you can lift it with telekinesis and throw it at somebody, and it does damage based off of the amount of weight that's in it. So you end up they're over here fighting it. Alright, let's get down there. Let's get down there. See what we can do. So yeah, I think that's one of my favorite things. It's the closest game I've ever played to an actual like tabletop RPG. So I think it was the variety and just how thoroughly the developer... I'm just rereading stuff at this point. Yeah, I love how BG Theory lets you drop an owlbear on people and insta-kill them. Yeah. It's got enough for, I think, just about everybody in that genre. Okay. I'm going to jump down there, but I don't think this floor goes further down all the way. Oh, it does, it does. Come on this way, buddy. I think I have a defib. Oh shit, maybe not, maybe not. Oh, I'm about fucking up. Come on. Oh, God. Ooh, buddy. Alright. I gotta get out of his line of sight. I love Warlocks just because of how they designed Eldritch Blast. Basically, it's just magic laser that lets you shoot. Yeah, you can be Goku, you can be you know, whoever you want with that. They are one of my favorite classes, minus the fact that they need to like adjust their spells. Oh shit! What do you want? What do you want? Ooh. All right. I heard you. Oh, I'm gonna fucking die. Get out of there. Oh, no. What are y'all going after? Whoa, buddies. Help. Help. Don't shoot me. Shoot the clankers. Don't shoot me. Shoot the clankers. Well, this was nice while it lasted. Yeah, it gives them like the ability to always have something to fire at. We're gonna call that last bad run the last one, I think. The ability to build classes in that game was very interesting as well. Not fully D&D, obviously, but at least interesting enough that you could make some pretty out of whack characters. I could make some characters that were pretty similar to D&D characters I've made before. Oh, that hurts. Can I even remake one? No. I need oil. Of course I do. Of course I do. Well, with that, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to go ahead and call it a night. If you haven't liked the stream, like the stream on the way out. Subscribe if you're new or if you're watching it after the fact. And I will be back on Wednesday with whatever videos I can find to watch. And at the moment, more Ark. Y'all have a good day.